Halakha Pesuka for Sunday, Parashat Vayetze from Chok L'Yisrael here in our Shiur at Habanim, Sephardic congregation in Valley Village, California. Le'olam yilmad Adam Torah ve'achar kach yisa isha. A man should always first study Torah and then get married afterwards. She'im nasa isha tehila, because if he gets married first, en da'ato penuya lilmod, his mind would not be free for him to learn Torah afterwards. He's going to be preoccupied, busy with family needs, etc. So therefore, he says here, first you learn Torah, and then afterwards you get married. However, if his urge overpowers him, it's too difficult for him to wait to get married. To the extent that he's not able to concentrate on the learning. Then he should get first married and then afterwards dedicate time to learning Torah. From what age does a father have the obligation to teach his son Torah? From the moment that the child starts speaking, you teach him Moshe. Starts teaching him the Pasuk, Torah tziva lanu Moshe, the Torah which Moshe commanded us. ואחר כך מלמדו מעט ושמע ישראל. Also you teach him the Pasuk Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואחר כך, and afterwards, מלמדו מעט Pesukim. Then you continue teaching him few Pesukim, one Pasuk after the other, adding more to it. עד שיהיה בן 6 או בן 7, until he's 6 or 7, הכל לפי בוריו. Everything is depending on his strength, on what he's able to absorb, on his strength of the child. ומליכו אצל מלמד תינוקות. And then you bring him to a person who teaches children, you bring him to a Jewish day school so that he's able to continue learning. היה מנהג המדינה לקח מלמד התינוקות שכר, נותן לו שכרו. If the custom in that country or in that city is to pay, if it's the custom to pay the teacher for teaching the kids, then yes, you pay him. וחייב ללמדו בשכר עד שיקרא תורה שבכתב כולה. And he's obligated to pay for for the son to learn until the son learns the whole written Torah. What is the whole written Torah? It's Torah Nevi'im Ketubim. And that's truly the 24 books. We have the 5 books of the Torah, but there are the books of the prophets, there is the writings, and really in the old country, I know that people used to first, even before getting involved in more learning Torah Shebe'al Peh, they used to have a good command of the Torah Shebichtav. So the obligation is to continue teaching him until he's learned the Torah Shebichtav. Makom shenahagу lelamed Torah Shebichtav bischar, mutar lamed bischar. Place it is custom to teach Torah Shebichtav by getting paid for it, then it's permitted to teach by getting paid. Aval Torah shebe'al peh, however, the oral Torah, which means Mishnah, Gemara, asur lelameda bischar, it's forbidden to teach that only by receiving a salary or payment for it. Shene'emar, like it says in the Pasuk in Devarim, Re'e limati etchem chukim u'mishpatim, ka'asher tzivani Hashem, ma'ani bechinam lamadti, af atem lemadetem bechinam mimeni. This is Moshe Rabbeinu speaking to Am Yisrael, saying the same way that I learned for free, Hashem taught me without me having to pay money for it. Also, Afatem, you also learned for free from me. So a person cannot charge specifically for teaching Torah Shebe'al Peh, Gemara, or Mishnah. So you would ask a question, how could there be that some teachers are getting a salary, so some Rabbeim, so the salary they get is not for teaching the Torah, but they're getting paid for the time that they're not able to put into other occupation to earn a living. So you're paying them for they're being idle from their other occupation that they could have earned a living on. But to pay someone for teaching Torah Shebe'al Peh, that is something that a person should not charge for. And continues here also what Moshe Rabbeinu meant, when you teach for generations to come, lamedu v'chinam, teach freely without asking for payment, the same way that you learned from me. What if he cannot find somebody that's willing to teach him for free? Then he should pay for learning. Shene'emar, like the Pasuk says in Mishneh, Emet, truth, which means the Torah. Kene, buy. In other words, even if you have to pay for it so you can learn. Yachol lamed lachirim bischar. Or maybe you could say it the same way that I had to pay for my learning, I'm going to charge for teaching. Talmud Lomar, that's why the Pasuk says, Ve'al timkor. So the Pasuk says, Emet, truth, kene, buy ve'al timkor, but don't sell. Halamatta, from this you learn, she'asur lo lamed bischar, af al pi shelimedo rabo bischar. From this you learn that you're not allowed to teach by requiring payment, even though you had to pay in order to learn. Kol ish mi Israel, any Jewish person, chayav betalmud Torah, is obligated to learn Torah. Ben ani, whether he's a poor man, ben ashir, whether he's a wealthy man, ben shalem begufo, whether he's whole in terms of his body, he doesn't have any injuries, he doesn't have any handicaps, ben ba'al yisurim, or whether he's afflicted, regardless of what his physical situation is, he has still the obligation to learn Torah. Ben Bachur, whether he is not married yet, and a young man. Ben Shaya Zaken Gadol, whether it's an older person, it's an elderly person, Shetashash Kocho, that he's weak in terms of his strength. Afilu haya ani amitpanes min hatzedakah, even if he was a poor man that gets his sustenance from collecting charity. Umchazer al ptachim, and even if he was to the extent where they had to go begging from door to door, still he has to learn Torah. Va'afilu, even Baal Isha Ubanim, even if he's married and he has children and he has responsibilities, still chayav likboa lo zman letalmud Torah. He still has to set aside time for learning Torah. Bayom u'balayla, both during the day and at night. In other words, learn in the morning, learn in the evening. You have twice a day the obligation to set aside time to learn Torah. Shene'emar, like it says in the Pasuk, Ve'agita bo yoma v'layla. You shall ponder and think and study the Torah day and night. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.